Hello and welcome to the First Click Inc. podcast, where we talk about what works with SEO, SEM, and SMM. I'm Chase Reiner, and today we're going to be talking about how to make money off Google AdWords and how to increase your ad score so you can pay less for clicks and have higher positions in the search engine results. So today we're going to be talking about the search network. We're not going to be talking about the display network. So sorry for anybody who's looking to learn about the display network, but I was planning on making a podcast later on about the display network, but today we're not going to be talking about that. So let's talk first of all about why it's important to increase your ad score. When you have a high ad score, you can actually be paying less for a click. So for instance, if somebody's paying $3 to be in position 1, if they have a really high ad score, somebody could be paying $5 to be in position 3, and that would be because they have a lower ad score. So how do you increase your ad score? First of all, we're going to talk about, sorry, I keep saying first of all. Well, anyways, we're going to be talking about how to, I don't even remember. Okay. So we're going to set up conversion tracking first, and then we're going to do some keyword research before you try to increase your ad score. So you're going to want to look for keywords that have low competition, high search, and low cost per click. And you want to create a landing page that's conversion rate optimized and highly relevant to your ads, right? You want Google to see that when people are landing on your page, the keywords that are on the page are going to be relevant to the ad, right? So if you are selling computer repair, the people who are clicking on the ad, you don't want them to see triathlons. You want them to see computer repair. So make sure that your headers, your titles, your paragraphs, all of that replicate what your ad's about, right? And that will actually increase your score, your ad score, having a highly relevant page. And then another thing that's going to increase your ad score is having it conversion rate optimized. So when people go to your page from the ad, they're usually looking for a product or a service they're looking to buy, right? As long as you're targeting keywords that are buying keywords, right? So you're not going to be targeting very general keywords. Usually you're going to be targeting like buy computer repair now if it's for computer repair, or buy massages now if it's for massages, whatever your keywords are. So when people hit your page, you want them to see a quick call to action. So buy now, click here, call now, email us now, that kind of thing. Another thing that you want to do, in my opinion, if you're going to be selling a product or a service, and this usually works really well for me, and you don't have to do this, but if you include a price in your title. So for instance, I sell computer repair, so I'll put my city, and then I'll put computer repair, and then I'll put the $sign, $75. So people can see that, okay, this is going to be for $75. And usually when people are shopping around, they really like to know the prices. Even if they don't click on the ads, which I just read an article in Google, somebody said that 23% of people actually do click on ads. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's a pretty low percentage. When they go to the organic listings or the local listings, they're going to be doing price comparison. And if they see that the person on the organic listing is offering computer repair for $135, and then they remember my ad that was for $75, they're going to go, oh, well, that guy's offering it for $75. So this is a great way to have people go back to your ad and be like, okay, this is what I want. And I also find that it increases the click-through rate because people get the information they want. And that's another thing that contributes to ad score. So make sure that you have ads that are going to provide a high click-through rate. After you get your ad made, you're going to want to make sure that you have extensions enabled. So what I do is I do site link extensions, call out extensions, and location extensions if it's for local. So I'll explain what those are. If you if you have a location extension, Google will link to your local business if you have a local business, and it'll show your address in the ad, which is really important to have because people like to know that you're local, right? So if you can do that, I would definitely do that. Another thing that you want to have no matter what ad you have is call-out extensions and site link extensions. And site link extensions show underneath your ad the two other links to your website. Sometimes it even shows more, but usually it shows about two. So if you have your page that they're going to land on, and then underneath the two site link extensions like contact us today and another area next to your area, or maybe a different product. This doesn't only help with your ad score, but it also helps get more clicks, and it makes your ad bigger. And then if you use call out extensions with that, you'll get your ad, and then you'll get underneath your ad, you can put text that say 24-hour support. We offer, I don't know, some sort of discount, whatever you want. You can put whatever you want in the call out extension. But basically, if you have that and site link extensions, it'll make your ad substantially larger than the people who aren't doing this, and also increase your ad score. So make sure you're using these extensions. Lastly, there's a site called trustpilot.com, and there's other sites out there, but this is the one that I use. And if you can get around, okay, let me explain what Trustpilot is. Trustpilot is a site where you can start getting reviews for your business, and you can start generating aggregate rating for your ads if you get enough reviews. So I think if you get 15 to 20 reviews on Trustpilot, they'll dynamically start adding star ratings to your ads. And this this improves ad score, and it also improves click-through rates, because I think people are like 33% more some sort of percent more likely to click on your ads if there's dynamic aggregate rating underneath it. So if you can, try to do that. But if you're focusing locally, I would definitely focus on your local business reviews first and trying to rank in the 3-pack before you try to get your ad score or your ads to have a dynamic rating. Aggregate rating. Gosh, I'm just messing up today. Anyways, if you follow these tips, you should have a better ad score than most of the ads out there. There's a lot of people who do pay-per-click ads, and not a lot of them are doing this stuff. And I've been doing this for some of my ads in Santa Barbara, where I'm located, and I have like #1 ads, and I'm paying like really cheap in comparison to how much I know these other people are paying, and they are not doing that well at all. So that's pretty much it today for the First Click Inc. podcast. Make sure to subscribe in the iTunes podcast store, and give us a review if you're feeling generous. And we'll see you next time. David.
How many are you going to do with these, man?
I'm going to do whatever it takes.
For world domination?
Do you want to know what the plan is?
I would love to know the plan, dude.
So right now I'm trying to just do it for more of a quality thing, like trying to just keep doing them until I get really good at it. But the main purpose is to have enough content where I just take all the content, do a bunch of video breakdowns, and put it into text, and interview a couple really famous SEOs, and then put it into a SEO 2016 book and put it on the Amazon store.
Pretty cool, man. Like under the brand of First Click, or like who?
Yeah, so it'd be under First Click, but it would be produced by like me and then everybody else on the First Click team.
Okay. That's pretty cool, man. I like it.
And that's how we can promote the business and also do monetization. We could sell the book, and then also, I mean, there's tons of things we could do with it.
That's pretty cool, man. Really cool idea. Who came up with it?
Well, it was actually not my idea. I heard it from somebody else who was doing a podcast, and said that one of the best ways to make money off of podcast is to take all the content and interview people who are really famous, and then make it into an ebook and then send copies of the ebook, or actually a regular book too, to these people who are famous, and they'll actually promote your book for you because they're in the book.
It's pretty similar to podcast strategy that I've done in the past and still do, you know?
What is that?
Just like continue to try and increase the reputation of guests over time.
Mm-hmm.
And by getting a highly reputable guest, that enables you to get someone a notch above and so forth, and just kind of continue in that manner.
But like, how many people have books written about them? You know what I mean? If I were to send you a book with you in it, you would probably like say, hey, look, I'm in this book.
Yeah. Yeah. I would just skip through the golden wheat fields, dropping my books and passing them around. I'm so excited.
So do you have any questions about AdWords, David? I think you came in like halfway, so you probably weren't.
Yeah, I have some thought. I mean, do you want to keep recording this?
Yeah, I am. I'm recording.
All right. Yeah, my thoughts are for just some stuff I've worked on. It's not, I don't think I'd want it recorded though.
Oh, you want me to turn off the recording?
Yeah.
I'm starting the recording again.
Oh man. Oh dude, I don't want to say this.
I have to have it for the content, David.
He has to have it.
Content is king. We all know this.
Chase, it's so good. It's so key, dude. I want to like set up an episode just for this one point. That's how important it is. And I've been testing this for the past 6 weeks, and it's like so clear, like the value of another option in comparison to pay-per-click, like night and day type of statistics. Dude.
Well, I do know one thing, and this isn't something I brought up in the podcast, but something called TrueView ads are where it's at right now, in my opinion. Like you can get tons of publicity on YouTube, and this is something that Ty Lopez does. He creates TrueView ads around his keywords and around his audience. And if people don't watch his entire ad, like the entire 30 seconds, or they don't interact with it, he gets free publicity and doesn't spend any money.
Yeah, but the problem is that people like me know that. And so if I like someone who makes a lot of content, right, because I have ad blocker, I'll turn off ad blocker and I'll click the ad so that way that person generates some revenue.
Right.
Right. So it's kind of a way to reward the creators. Yeah,
I'm the exception though. Most people have regular, they don't do that, and they just, then the system works. But
do they not do that because they are ignorant that they can reward people that way? Or is it just that they don't?
Most people don't.
Most
people don't have ad blocker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I actually just read an article. I just read an article about how Google was considering making it so that people who have ad blocker can't use Google.
Yeah, I mean, Safari's gonna. Have they integrated that yet into their browser? Like, it's going to be a default setting, I think, and if it's not there already, it's coming soon. Ad blocker integration.
I could see Apple at the same time making their own portal. And then having it ad supported and trying to compete.
Thanks, Dustin.
You know what though? Sometimes it feels like they're psychic. Like I've started to search something and it'll be like this, and it's like, yeah, I did mean that, Google. Now you're freaking me out.
Well, one of the main people from the Google team actually said, or the search team said, that the algorithm right now is like a teenager in comparison to what they think it's going to be like in years from now. It's like in terms of its thinking process. That
I heard that 3 years ago, though, too. I mean,
well,
yeah, but
3 years
how
ago,
far has
it
it
has
come?
Progressed. Yeah.
Yeah, how far has it come? I mean,
well, I mean, it's like it's always going to be like that. It's always it's just.
No, one day it'll be its true form.
Yeah. It's like Google's going to come and say, "Hey, everybody, we finally reached the pinnacle of Google search. We're done. that's what it's going to be like for the next years. Thank you very much for sticking around.
So eBoy wants to know what the number one tip for increasing your SEO is. I don't think there is any number one tip, but for me, content is where everything's going, and you want to do something. You want to kill two birds with one stone whenever you're doing content. You don't want to just be writing a blog. You want to be doing like a podcast and then putting that into a blog and then sharing it over social media, or doing a YouTube video and then making it live on YouTube and then also sharing it to a Google Plus community, whatever you're doing. But if you're not producing content these days, it's going to be really hard to really get a lot of traffic to your website or to your social media channels, whatever you're doing, just by doing technical SEO. I mean, technical SEO is good, but it can only go so far these days. And people really hate me for saying this, but I really think that like link building campaigns are just so arbitrary.
Aww.
What was that for?
Dustin's such a sweetie.
So eBoy, if you have a lot of content but no traffic, that means that you should actually start doing some more keyword research and start forming your content to match what people are searching for.
Or you know what? I have a hard time with that one because I think that's kind of spammy-ish. Like if you're just concentrated on building something that people want, then how can you authentically speak to it? And how are you going to find the passion to keep writing about it and creating content?
That's partially a defeating like mentality, I think, Kristen, because
I think like both.
Like Coca-Cola, they keep making Coke because they know people want it.
So when you create something, Kristen, and Google ranks your content, they're ranking it for the purpose of good, and that gets abused. So a lot of people see it in a negative way. If you think about it in a positive way, the reason why there's different ranking factors within the search algorithm is so that you can get really good relevant content to the top so that people who are seeing it are going to be wanting that content. So just because you have to do SEO doesn't mean that it's supposed to be for a negative reason. It just means that you have to do it to get in front of all these other people who are doing the exact same thing.
Well, right. And I didn't mean to give the impression that I think that SEO is evil, because it's what I'm choosing to learn about. I wouldn't choose to want to learn about something that's evil. I think that it can do wonderful things. It's kind of like a white knight versus the black knight kind of battle. Like I guess I shouldn't say black knight because that like the good guy versus bad guy. I'll just say that. We're just constantly trying to elevate the trustworthy content. Yeah, I don't like saying black hat either, though, because I've been trained by Emma Johns, who is known as Black Knight in the forums.
Well, I also my screen name for a long time used to be Dark Knight, but was with a K, and then like that was before the movie though. Like right, they've got Batman Dark Knight, but like that was like my name for a while, and it's a play on words, right? Because it's a night, but it's also nighttime, which is also dark. I don't know. Yeah.
And anytime I've ever seen you, you're always in the dark.
Yeah, that's true. A cave dweller.
But anyways, Kristen, I mean,
I think so too.
When you write your content, what is the purpose? Is it to just provide information? Is it to sell something?
Well, I'm still a baby in learning. That's why I came in. I was trying to come in after you were recording.
I know, but you were saying that you're having trouble with ranking or figuring out what. I think you were saying ranking your content, right? So.
Oh, that wasn't me. That was someone else.
Oh, that was eBoy. You were just repeating it?
Yeah, probably.
Gotcha. Well, maybe eBoy could be a little bit more specific with his question.
Yeah, if you'd like to come in, I'm happy to rotate out.
If you could give us a site link too, E-boy, we could look at it for you. Yeah, and
TrueView
you know
Ad
what?
space.
I really like what Peter's saying right here. SEO is not only about search these days.
Yeah.
I actually did a podcast about this earlier, and I really think that SEO is becoming so much more because we now have social media optimization, which is making it so that your social media posts and your social media channels show up in the different searches for the queries in like social media platforms like YouTube or Facebook. People actually search on the Facebook search bar for different things, and same with Twitter. So there's SEO in the social media world. There's SEO for organic. There's search engine marketing, which you should combine with
Apps.
SEO. There's app SEO. There's Amazon SEO. So, I mean, it's funny when people say that SEO is dead because there's so much more SEO these days because there's so many people who discovered how awesome search engines are that there's so many now that I don't think it's the exact opposite of dead. There's so much opportunity right now, and we live in a time where, I mean, you could become famous on the internet just by making one video. That there's so much more stuff. There's so much more these days, right?
Well, I think that like part of an SEO with many clients is that you're not really seeking to get yourself famous necessarily, but just getting your clients seen and heard.
Right. And I think, what's funny is I think there's a couple approaches these days. There's the people who slowly build out their content, right? They get better and better and better. And this usually is how I see people get famous the most is they will start a podcast or they'll start a YouTube channel or start a blog and they're consistent. They do it like every day and they create a lot of content and they start ranking in organic and they start becoming really knowledgeable. And then there's the people like Ty Lopez who create one video campaign and it goes viral. But what are the chances of something going viral, right? And going viral should never be a marketing strategy.
Right.
I don't think.
Well, there's actually there's a tool called YouTube Views, and you can jack up your views pretty quickly with it's kind of like trading, right? So I'll watch your video, you watch my video, and you can get like thousands of views like really quickly like that.
How is that really helping people though? Like, I mean, if you're just
it just makes them look cool.
something
Like someone like goes to this video, they're like, wow, 5,000 people have watched this already.
Right. I mean, I don't know like how like in the grand scheme of things, like that's just pumping someone up, not based on value that they're giving. It's just based on trade. So
yeah,
it's funny. There's people out there right now. I don't know if you guys heard of this guy. His name's Jerry Banfield, but there's people out there who, like Jerry, who believe in strictly social media proof, social proof. So what he does is he like actually went bankrupt from getting so much social proof on his Facebook page. I think he has 1.8 million likes on it right now. But what he was doing is he was selling Udemy courses and then taking all the money he did from a Udemy course that he was getting conversions from through Facebook. And then he would just put all that money back into Facebook page likes. And then he is getting all these really low, under like a penny page likes from all these people in all these countries in like the Philippines where the cost per page like is like under a penny. And now he's like a certified celebrity on Facebook. He's got like 1.8 million likes and he sells all these Udemy courses. He does really well, but is it all from social proof? I don't know.
Right.
I mean,
the final result was he's doing really well.
He's not bankrupt anymore, but yeah, he actually now he has a really legit Facebook page and he actually sells his Udemy courses and it's not like he's spending all his money on it anymore, but he's not bankrupt.
And he talks about his wife and family,
right.
Which is always a plus for me.
Yeah, Renee, like in the analytics, and SEMrush is one of them, you can sort based on, like if you want to see the results from a certain region, then that's what it's going to show you if you want to track like keywords. And if you want to do just United States, you can do different countries, you can do cities, you can, I can see the results of the city you're in my interface if I want to. And yeah, they do change, but you know, the analytics will show whatever you want to see.
Renee,
What's funny about that is I wonder if Facebook is covertly behind that, right? Like that's a front. Facebook's just figured out another way to monetize off of like fake likes that people think like they're getting something off of on Facebook, but it's like the other way around.
Well, when people like your page, it actually starts showing up in their newsfeed, hopefully. I mean, it's a very small percentage. I think it's like 10% of your posts actually show up to the people in your newsfeed. But there are certain things that you can do to hack the Facebook algorithm, which, mind you, has like 100,000 different ranking factors, which is insane. But if you do certain things, you can actually make posts go viral and you could make them go to like 80% of the people who have liked your Facebook page. And if you have a very high like count, that could be very substantial and really help your business or whatever you're trying to sell. Sure. And some of these things include like doing a post where it's tag a person if they like cats, and then everybody tags that person. What it does is it shows Google that all these people are interacting with this post, and it makes the post more likely to show in all the other people's news feeds that have liked the page. And you can do other things like if you like Justin Bieber, or if you vote for Justin Bieber, and if you vote for Drake, comment. And then there'll be these people that just comment or like based on a war that has nothing to do with what the actual goal of the marketer is doing, which is just to get engagement.
I'm going to be right back on that note.
Okay. And so while you're being right back,
I'm going to go into a quiet room and meditate on that point, then come back.
I'm going to bring up something that Renee is saying, which is spot on. It's different for each person, I believe. Google results are different from person to person. And yes, depending on locality, it is different. So like one person's results will be different than another person's results because Google is always going by the ISP.
Yep. Location's very important these days. And if you're not focusing on some aspect of location, then I'd say you're missing out on some traffic.
For sure.
Even if you're just doing like a blog, you can still have that blog rank in local search just by including like city keywords. What I did when I first started doing SEO is I actually created a SEO page for every single city inside the county that I lived in and all the counties that surrounded it. And I wound up getting like page 1 rankings for like 50 different cities.
Yeah, like Bill Slosky, he like within like 3 months or so of moving to Carlsbad was already ranking, and that was because he took advantage of putting in the state.
So Mark Profit said that his site's ranking number 23 for innovation training. And I think what some SEOs would say is he needs more links. He needs more authoritative links without even looking at his page, right? And this always makes me laugh because if you start making more content about that keyword and you start interlinking your pages for that certain keyword you're trying to rank for, and you start experimenting with your titles by changing your titles and changing your headers and looking up synonyms for your keywords so you can include keywords that are related to your main keyword within that post. There's tons of things you can do, but you should keep morphing it. You'll eventually get better ranks. And this actually happened to me. It took me 20 different tries of combinations before I was able to rank for number 1 in my city. 20 different tries.
Yeah, long tail, volume, keyword search volume. Yeah, I mean, Mark, are you trying to do some SEO work right now? Curious.
He has a site that I don't know if he's decided to ditch it or not. He's Mark, you've kind of been like, back and forth on it like in the last couple of days, right? Let's see what he says.
Predictive Innovation, yeah, he's number 1. Obviously, I believe he invented that phrase.
He has a book too.
Yeah, I know Mark.
Okay, cool.
The other funny thing too is that when I was able to actually reach number 1 for that query, I had like 3 linking root domains to my website, and I looked at my competitor analysis and their backlinks, the people who were ranking number 1, they had, I think, like 115 backlinks, like from root domains. So, I mean, there's so many people who say that it's so important to have really a lot of backlinks and that you should still do backlink building campaigns. But it's like, and I even got downvoted on Reddit like 4 times because I said this, but I think you should actually be focusing on social media awareness and generating backlinks through social media and actually growing your social media channels instead of focusing on backlink campaigns. And that's just me. There's a bunch of people who can argue with me, but it's okay. I just think it's a waste of time.
I agree with you, and I wonder how much of that has to do with like where we are, like age-wise, like because we're kind of in this era where, you know, that's what we see everyone doing.
Well, and another thing is that, like, Google actually told us SEOs that backlink building is against webmaster guidelines. So it's like, I mean, I know, like, if you can get a couple really strong backlinks, good, but don't spend all of your time trying to do that.
And they should definitely be organic. Like, I think that anytime that you try and push it, it's like people can see through it. It's so easy to see, like, oh, I wonder how I got that link or whatever, you know.
This is funny. Amy wants to know if young people are getting more social media results than old people, and you know that's not true at all. If you look at Michael Stelzner right now, the owner of Social Media Examiner, he's like 40, and he comes on Blab I think every week. That guy is insane, and he knows so much about social media that I wouldn't even come close. But what you can do to learn more about social media is to start taking Udemy classes. And you'll start learning like a lot of really good stuff. Like I'm taking a Udemy course right now for Facebook, and I'm learning things right now that I've never even thought about.
Like what?
Like creating a call to action with a drop down, or sorry, like a pointer arrow to one of your buttons on your cover photo. So apparently your cover photo in Facebook is the most looked at thing in Facebook. Everybody looks at the cover photo more than they look at anything else. So if you can create a call to action inside of your cover photo, you can actually put like an arrow pointing down to like your sign up or email or watch this video button or subscribe. You'll actually get way more conversions off of that than you will doing anything else on your Facebook. At least from just like one post. If of course doing like, you know, updates, you could still get a lot of.
So here's something I encourage everyone who's using Facebook, not the advertisers or the small business owners, but like your personal Facebook, lie about your name. Do it.
Why?
Because think about it, right? When the AIs start getting more and more creative, they're able to figure out things about you that you may not want them to know. Mm-hmm. You know, and it just comes down to information sharing. How much do you want your boss to know what you did last weekend, right? So lie about your name so it's harder to find you.
Well, I mean, I guess, but what
and then your real friends will have your Facebook account anyways, and you can still do all the same stuff you do.
Facebook is starting to crack down on this, though. If you have an account,
they hate that.
Well, no, if you have an account and they recognize that your account isn't legit, they'll actually send you pictures of people that they want you to verify if you know them or not. And then even after that, they'll sometimes ask you to send them a picture of your photo ID. Yeah. So they are cracking down on it.
I actually offered to make someone a fake ID for Facebook. And the logic behind it is, it's not like you're trying to sneak into a bar. Like, what law are you breaking, right? It's not like, oh, he used a fake ID to get onto Facebook. Like, what? You know? And I think it's actually kind of funny because it shows the level of control they want to have over their users. If it's really getting down to the point where it's like, give me your DNA, give me your social security number, give me your ID. Like, what are they doing, you know?
We're going to need 3 blood tests before you can get on Facebook.
I was going to write a satire article about that, actually. Like, yeah, where they actually find Facebook representatives starting to go door to door to like
conduct an official Facebook census.
How far do they go with it? But yeah, Chase, podcasting, man, it's still number one, dude. I've been running some tests, matching it up against pay-per-click and purchased advertising through Facebook ads. The stats that I'm getting, like I'm matching it up against a professional pay-per-click company and advertising company that are buying these ads. The stats are like, it's unreal. Like it's just night and day. Like my bounce rate on what I'm getting for my traffic is like right around 50%. Average time spent per visit is over 5 minutes. Whereas like the pay-per-click, the bounce rate's like high 80s, sometimes over 90. Average time.
I don't know many people that intentionally click an ad.
Well, I just want to, this goes directly into what I was going to talk about next is Renee just asked, is getting your Google AdWords and Analytics certification valuable? I mean, it's funny because you're thinking about investing in this course, Renee, but Google actually has courses and Google Partner Certification. Well, yeah, you already know that they have certification, but you don't have to take a Udemy course to learn it. And I actually just got done taking it a couple months ago, actually like last month. And I know so much more about SEO now because I did the analytics, and I did the search network, and I did the display network, that it's if you haven't done it yet and you're still doing backlink building or something, stop doing that and start doing your certification test. Get certified in all 6 categories, do the analytics certification, and it's going to help you tremendously.
I just wanted to take a moment to address Amy. Let me see, where's the comment? So I think I gave the wrong impression. Where is it? Okay. She thinks people relying on backlinks rather than social media links was an age problem. I'm not saying that it's a problem. I just think that it's a difference that we're in transition. We're still, getting used to a more open web and more opportunities to speak to our communities that we build.
Yeah, and if you're not using the like Google Plus communities right now, or you're not using Twitter because you just think it's not really your market, that kind of thing, I mean, there is a market for every single business on all these different social media platforms. It just depends on how creative you can get, right? I know it's hard to think about these things sometimes, but it's worth spending the time to figure out where your audience is. Like there's a Google Plus community for everything. There's a subreddit for everything. There's, people on Twitter for pretty much everything. And I actually cover this in my last 2 podcasts, how to get more engagement on Google and how to get more engagement on Twitter. And there's some tools that you can use right now that I'm using, and I'm getting like 10 retweets. I'm getting tons of people to the podcast, and I'm getting tons of engagement on Google that, like, if you're not using these tools right now, you're really missing out. Do you guys use any certain tools or any techniques for these social media channels that not a lot of people usually think about?
I want to bring up something kind of weird, but just go with me, right? Let's say you want to make money, right, with the internet, and you have a product, but you just want you want to use SEO. How would someone go about making money just simply with no product? I mean, what do you have? Like, if you wanted to come up with something simple that people could make money using SEO.
Well, a business model that I'm doing right now that works, and it will work for any service area. You don't need to even have a product. All you do is just generate leads. And that's pretty much what SEO is really good for. So you start creating a search engine marketing campaign around a service area. So for instance, if you have a website, any website, and it's a service, for instance, back massages, you could create a search engine marketing campaign or a pay-per-click campaign devoted to selling back massages in your city, right? You just have to look up the keywords and see whether they're a high search rate or not. if they're high search rate and the cost per click is usually around $3, unless you're selling real estate, then it's like $11. You can generally, if you create a better AdWords campaign than most people, which it isn't hard to do because a lot of people don't usually create very good AdWords campaigns, you can be ranking #1 for that ad and literally just send those leads to somebody else who's in that industry and get paid a percentage. And I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it with a computer repair business, and I just send all the leads to somebody else, and I'm making like, I don't know, like an extra $200 a week, and I'm literally not doing anything. And I'm also generating reviews for my local location, which is a service area, and it's going up in the 3-pack, so eventually I won't even have to do ads.
Wait, touch on that last part again.
So, like I was saying earlier, if you're not killing 2 birds with 1 stone, you're not doing it right. If you're getting leads and you're giving them to somebody else, you want to make sure that you're doing something with those leads other than just making money. You want to take those leads and also convert them into reviews so that your local search starts rising up in the ranks and you start getting more clients just from local search. And you don't even need an ad anymore, but you could, because you could actually get an ad, local search, and then if you did SEO, you could get organic and be pretty much in the first 3 spots.
Nice.
But the reason why you should start learning search engine marketing is because Google's starting to put 4 ads in the search results before the local listings and then before the organic. So if there's 4 ads, 3 local search, the #1 organic search is going to be number 8. And that's not including the sidebar of ads.
Wow.
All right, we got a lot of people talking here. I haven't had time to look.
I know, this is great. So exciting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all still just like part of the big picture, though, Chase, right?
Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to read all these comments. Say it again.
It's all just one element of the big picture. Like that's kind of
right.
What I was getting at with like looking at the analytics, looking at bounce rate, which may not mean much to anything right now, but if you're doing SEO work and you're getting the traffic to your home base and everyone's leaving after 10 seconds or everyone's leaves after 1 page, then there's a problem there. Yep. And that could be how you choose to explain your product.
And it also decreases your ad score. It wastes your money. So, I mean, obviously have a good product, right? There's a lot of people who don't even have business models, but they want to start doing SEO. So that's always something that's frustrating, but.
Yeah, good product. Don't have a website that takes 20 seconds to load each page. You know, make sure your site is just basic stuff like that.
No schema markup, no OG metadata, so that you can actually share it on social media and have something substantial to share. There's no name, address, phone number on the site. I mean, there's tons of things that people overlook and they just go straight into selling something. Or they just have their AdWords campaign go to their homepage and it's like, okay, I'm on your homepage. Now I have to go down 3 levels through your website in order to find, what I'm actually going to be doing to contact you.
Yeah. So, and that's what I love about analytics is because you're always going to get tons of opinions from friends, family, acquaintances, whoever saying, oh, that article or that article you wrote on the site or the bio or the summary, it's like, it doesn't sound good to me. And then the next guy will say, it's okay, I should leave it. Everyone's got all these opinions. Analytics don't have opinions. It's just they tell you the story. It's just that's the way it is. If everyone's leaving that page right away, there's something wrong. So you need to tweak the page, or maybe there's something wrong on that page. Like maybe you need to just tweak the business model, or tweak your products, or change the price. And the analytics, if they start to improve once you do that, it's like, okay, now I'm on the right path. And yeah.
Let's answer Guy Cook's question really quick. He wants to know if local search is affected by you being logged into your Google account. You don't have to be logged into your Google account to be have Google know that you're in a certain area. They can actually tell by your IP. But if you are logged into your Google account and you follow somebody's website, like you go to the follow, if there's a follow button on the website, they'll actually show up higher in your next search results and things related to them than they would if you weren't following them. So that's why I always recommend to people to put a follow button on a Google follow button or a Facebook follow button or both on their website to help get, better search results in those other people's search results. I don't even remember what I'm saying.
Just go like this, dude.
Use the follow buttons.
Something that you mentioned was IP address.
Yeah.
Right. An IP address is interesting because it stays the same for a while, but then it eventually changes on most internet service providers. So if you're logged in, Google knows precisely, yes, that was you who did that search, and they can optimize for your liking. But if you aren't logged in, there is a possibility that they aren't actually tracking IP address when it switches over. So that's interesting.
Another thing about the Facebook follow button is that if you follow somebody on Facebook, it's a lot different than if you like them. So if you follow somebody on Facebook, you actually get notified when that page makes a post. So if you can get a lot of followers on a Facebook page, it's a lot more important than getting likes on a Facebook page. But likes are really good for remarketing because you can, if you have, say you have 5,000 likes on your Facebook page, there's this thing on Facebook's algorithm called time decay, where if you don't interact with that person's post for, I don't know, I think it's, I forget what the time period is, but if it's at a certain amount of time you don't interact with their posts, their posts are likely not going to show up in your newsfeed for a while. So you can actually promote your Facebook page to people who've already liked your page and make sure that they interact with your page. And then you can also create a how-to video on how to actually get notified when somebody makes a post on their page just by if you press the like button on Facebook and then you go to notifications underneath, you can enable all the notifications for that page.
Okay, so I have a question. Who was it? Jessa Bear put in a link to a debugger for Facebook for developers. And right there it says, enter the URL you want to scrape to see how the page's markup appears at Facebook. And I like when I see scrape, I run because I've been taught that that's like a no naughty thing. And we're not supposed to scrape sites.
Yeah, ask Aaron Schwartz about that.
And what will Aaron Schwartz say?
Reference.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
I know Aaron Bradley.
It just like if you scrape a lot of their content, right? Even though they're they're giving it away for free, they just companies don't like it when you do that because then you can use that on your own site, and it's kind of like content stealing, and it's really strange because, right, content is usually submitted by the publisher, like with no expectations of like royalty or rights. So it's not the end user, but the actual websites themselves, the database clients, kind of arguing for different things. But scraping can be a really useful tool for gathering data. Most companies don't mind if you just use that to gather data for your own personal use, unless it's starting to compete with them directly.
And as far as like creating email lists, there's like, it's very sketchy and gray.
But yeah, if you make an email list with emails that you scraped, you're gonna get put on the spam filter really quickly. So you're only gonna get a couple thousand one time.
Yeah.
If you keep making fake accounts and keep switching your IP address and you don't give a shit about those things, yeah. But for most business owners, that's a really stupid idea.
There's actually a tool right now on for Facebook I saw that will let you extract Facebook group emails. So if there's an SEO group, you can use the application, and it's an extension that lets you take all of the emails, and it's not the actual email, it's the Facebook email that goes to the main email, and you can email these people through that, and usually it'll actually go to their regular email. But I don't know if this can be integrated with MailChimp or not, which is an interesting thought. But email campaigns are important these days. But God, I would rather take an email list and use it for remarketing.
I like David's approach. No, they're not.
No, dude. Yeah, I'm like, I feel like I'm like the protagonist in the story against email lists, because that was the first thing I did online. That's all I did for about 4 years, was run an email newsletter. That's it. And that was in 2002, and every year I just watch it decline. I watch the stats decline, and we're at a point where it's barely worth the time to manage it with the results you can get with it compared to other options. And yet I still see people, even here, just on Blab, for example, where they still say like that's should be your number one thing that you're doing online. I'm like,
out of your list.
I'm like, how
So
long
I
you
just
been
dropped
working
a
online?
link
I'm like,
for
wait,
your website. If you ever need to use your email, but you don't want to give your real one, use Mailiner, and you can redirect all your spam to there.
Wait, I just wanted to make it clear. I was not promoting scraping. I was just saying that this is something that people do. Okay, I like to see the things that people are doing, just because it's creative, and it's usually the things that people are doing that are not legit that actually help contribute to the things that are legit, because you go, okay, this is what I'm not going to do, right? When you figure out the things that you're not going to do, it's better when you figure out the things that you are going to do, right?
Yeah. So, but one more thing on email, I just want to say one more thing is, when you're trying to develop an opinion about it, just think about your own habits. Think about how many newsletters you subscribe to right now that come into your inbox that you put in your save folder for later. And then you have to think in your mind, how many other people are doing that? How many people are going to be inclined to go add yet another niche newsletter to their inbox and expect that they're going to read it every time you send it out? You think that's going to get better over time? No. It's going to continue to get more and more oversaturated. So,
and how many scripts people are running to like automatically put your newsletter into like come into my inbox filter.
Even
I think if you want to spam anything, you want to hit them up on the texts. Hit them up through text. If you are, people love to text. They're gonna read it right away.
The best thing,
like Telegram, WeChat, like those kind of programs, like they're great for that.
If you don't email, how do you reach your people? What? Really?
Through texts. Yeah.
SMS.
The best thing you can do with an email list right now, and this is just my opinion, is you use it for remarketing, because AdWords and Facebook, and I'm not sure what else, I think YouTube, which is a part of AdWords, so I guess same thing. You can use it for remarketing, so you can target people who are on these specific email lists and usually get pretty good interaction with those email lists, opposed to targeting like an affinity audience.
Oh gosh!
What?
All right, let's talk about just content options. Okay.
Okay.
Like, let me throw some statistics at you. I've thrown some at you, Chase, but everyone else here may not have even realized this. So from an advertiser standpoint, how much are they paying to get like 100, clicks or impressions if they put a banner on your website? How much are they paying you? Pennies, right?
Right. Well, that's display network, and
sure.
That's
bear with me. Yeah. So say YouTube, if you're putting ads in your videos, how much is YouTube paying you when 1,000 people click on those? It's pennies.
Well, you get paid a lot more than you do for the display ads on websites.
But
I've got about I want to say 7,000 or 8,000 views on one of my videos, and I've got like $5. I think.
There you go. Perfect example. 1,000 plays for a podcast. 1,000 listeners. Do you guys know what advertisers are paying for a slot in that right now?
For AdWords for a podcast?
For a verbal ad in a podcast.
Verbal ad is much different because, right, you're putting your name behind it. Whereas opposed to YouTube, like you throw up ads, you may get ads that you don't really care about that company. But if the actual like broadcaster shouts out a company, like most of the time they're putting their credibility behind it. So it's going to be like a legit product that they actually like.
I mean, if I put an ad on my website or in YouTube and it's my channel, it's still the credibility of me. I've made the decision to put it out there. It's a choice.
Not really. So, like if I see like a thing for like some like tire shine product, right? And then I watch your video and it's a comedy, like I'm not going to think, oh, this guy likes tire shine. But if you specifically shout out some tire shine company, I'm like, okay, it's probably legit. Yeah. So it's kind of different.
And another thing about podcast ads is
you're saying podcast is profitable.
People
are. No, I'm like 10% on the way to my point. Is that from an advertising standpoint, you're looking at like $18 to $20 that an advertiser would pay for that podcast slot. Why are they paying so much money? Because they know the stats, they know the engagement that happens when they put their ads in the podcast and they include them in the summary in a blog post or whatever. And that's what I've been testing this for a big part of this year. And I'm matching it up to, older, like SEO strategies, which are helpful, but compared, to what you get from the streams from the podcast, it's not even close. And what the advertiser is willing to pay, that's the proof. Like the people that are putting the money out, they know the stats. It's like how more clear could it be the value of doing a podcast in terms of part of your content strategy. And I've been tracking all the traffic that comes from the podcast to the sites that I manage. And those are the stats I was quoting before. 50% bounce rate as opposed to like 80 or 90, 4 to 5 minute plus average time spent on the website as opposed to like 30 seconds spent on the website from other sources. Like that, it's just like so obvious to me that you have to include that in your portfolio of content. And it's my number one choice.
I'm going to be really honest with you. I don't listen to podcasts. I don't even know where to get podcasts.
Do you know that the audience who listens to podcasts are usually a way higher end market? So people who listen to podcasts are usually in the higher, willing to afford more expensive products. So
you're saying I'm poor, Chase?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that's
because I'm poor.
But the other thing is that, and this is kind of what David was saying. Usually it's the opposite. So David's that way. When you have a podcast or a YouTube channel and you're talking to people either visually or through sound, people are more likely to trust you because you're you, right? You're somebody that people listen to because they respect you. They want to learn something from you. So if you recommend something, they're more likely to listen to you. Where if it's like a blog and it's really impersonal, somebody hits your blog from organic search, and it's just like, some text and some pictures and, hey, buy this product. It's like the audience retention is so much lower. So not only do the podcast ads probably work better, but they also probably have way higher conversions than like a search engine marketing campaign. But this doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing that other stuff. It just means that you should be researching all your different opportunities, because there's opportunities everywhere you look, but it's finding which ones work out best for you and then taking advantage of those.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, and plus podcasting is the most adaptive form of media that exists right now in terms of people's lifestyles to take in some type of content. Reading, you have to stare at the screen, so you can't walk, you can't drive, you can't do any activities, you can't work, but you can listen to a podcast doing those things I just mentioned. So again, it's like advertisers know that they're already beyond that. I
want to bring up something else that I feel like is a really important point. It's true, you can make money through podcasts. You guys are saying it, I believe it, right? You guys wouldn't lie to me.
I am right now. I'm doing three of them right now. Yeah.
So my point is select your advertisers wisely, right? Like check out the product before you do it, because if you start bringing in A-list products that just are amazing each time, people are gonna like really start to actually have an even higher rate. Whereas if you do the opposite and you just take something in because they pay you, right? But you really don't believe in it. What'll happen is you'll see the numbers drop down. So it's kind of like a social trust thing. So I think there's actually a lot of potential to make a huge amount of money for people who have really high scruples that are able to market themselves back to the advertisers and say, hey, come check me out. I've got this many viewers and I like your product. So I want to say be a little bit on the offensive instead of on just kind of looking for people to come to you, right? How do you market towards people for advertisement space?
You mean
How do you market? Wait, can you say that again, William?
So how do you market towards corporate companies for your advertising space?
you just ask them, right, David?
How do you market toward, like, say,
In his email list.
You have a website, William, and you're saying, how do you approach a company to get money from them to put a banner on your site? Like,
or how do you discover companies that you want to have advertised? I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about you because you've got the podcast. And I'm just kind of trying to get in the background, see how it's
changed. Yeah, like where I'm at. I've been working online 15 years, so it's where I'm at today is much different from when I started. When I was running a newsletter and had I had crappy websites when I just started, so I was putting the AdSense stuff or ads that were not even relevant to the content of the website. I was just happy, hey, can we make, $50 here, 50 there? It's like, great. And then everything changed when I was running my company called Music Forte, and we had no ads up there. And then we had a popular forum, and this company called us and said, can I put my banner on your forum for 2 months? I'll give you $3,000. Like, well, what? Sure, absolutely. And that kind of clicked. It's like, wait, like you can get the most money from people that are really like relevant to your content because they're going to get really high engagement and value in the traffic that comes back to them.
Well, let's also talk about, David, how you would go about finding those people. And one of the great ways to do it is you can go to Buzz.
I'm giving the long answer, sorry, but
you can go to BuzzSumo and type in articles related to what you're doing. So if you go to BuzzSumo and type in SEO, you'll be able to find articles and all the social proof that goes with those and who's linking to those articles. And you can contact the people who are linking to those articles. Or you can go to SEMrush and type in, click on, or put in people's websites, do competitor analysis. You can use JumpShot. You can start listening to podcasts and see how many reviews. I mean, even though you're not going to be able to see like the exact play counts or maybe the exact number of people who are actually converting, actually with JumpShot you can still kind of get a good estimate and then see what it would take to advertise on those sites. With Google Managed Placements, you can actually see what people are bidding on, or you can enter an auction and bid a certain amount to get on certain sites. And
great. And that's awesome. And so what's the ultimate evolution of that, Chase? Because you're doing it right now.
Well, I mean, the evolution of it is profit.
For that ad space on your site, what's the ultimate evolution of that?
I mean, well, brand awareness is one. No, that ad space is your own book. It's like that, and that's what you're doing. It's like you're creating like a series of a podcast to create your own book. That's your own product, dude. If you write your own book, and it's like that's the evolution of all the other ads where you're only getting a small percentage of like the true value of the clicks, is if it's your own book, you get 100% of that money when someone like clicks to buy it. Right.
So like that's where I'm at right now. I always try and like put something where I can keep the most money for that action that a person takes.
David, I just there's a couple people in the chat room right now that they say that SEO is dead, and it's really funny because I wasn't sure if they were joking. So yeah, their arguments are just so invalid. And one of the guys who actually has been saying it for a while now actually got some suggestions from me on how to fix his website because his website wasn't using OG metadata, so he wasn't able to share his content with social media in the way that he should. which
Yeah.
is a form of search engine
It
optimization.
is.
Just tell you a story really quick of when I just used SEO in my area. Somebody just joined my computer site and needed to rank on the first page so that people could start finding them for computer repair. So what I did is I took their bio, I put some keywords in there, I put a nice title tag, I put some headers in there with, some semantic keywords, and started linking externally and internally. And they showed up on the second page, but now they're rising up because it's a good SEO on the site. People are actually starting to click on that page and are starting to call us for computer repair in that area. So this is just one example of how well SEO is working for me. It's ridiculous to me that people can even come close to thinking that SEO is dead when it's literally the best it's ever been, and it's the most accurate it's ever been. The most accurate it's ever been. So when people say SEO is dead, it's like, go ahead, give me less competition. That's fine. But if you want to learn
I've never heard someone say SEO is dead that really understood SEO.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, they just kind of
I don't mean,
I think
I don't mean to bash the person. I mean to say you're like you don't know.
I mean, it's very very intelligent.
Well,
like if Chase in a year from now, who after doing this for a few years, like as his full-time job, and he comes out and says, after seeing every element and all of the options out there, I really do think SEO is dead. Yeah, I would respect his opinion, but I know how most of this stuff works. Chase, no, you're much higher level than me,
David. But you're so accurate when you say that these people don't know what they're talking about. Like Joshua right now said that paid advertising is going to destroy SEO, when SEO is like the top contributing factor for search engine marketing, for pay-per-click ads. If you want to have a really high ad score and pay like no money for the ads, you're going to want to have really good SEO. And also with your social media, it's all a form of SEO. Your posts are SEO, your channel's SEO, everything's SEO.
I think what these guys mean, and I'm not trying to say that they're right in any way, but I think that the problem they see is that there's too much competition, right? They figure there's all these people that get hot shots like Chase and David in here who are just destroying an SEO, and the level of effort that it would take them would be just insurmountable. But I think the irony in that is that I think that there's a niche market for pretty much everything, right? Even if you're both selling pizzas in the same city, there's SEO. You can get the people closest to you. So it turns out that anyone can do SEO, and you're not necessarily competing with all the other people, competing with actually background noise at this moment.
I think that there is still like a definition that some people hold on to, and I'm new to the internet, so I don't have the background of knowing SEOs as anything but good guys. But in doing homework and research and reading, backstories, it seems that there was a time where SEO was a naughty word, and it was associated with scammy things and things that were tricking people. And I think that there is been a real push within the community to get rid of all of that and to do exactly like what people in this side chat are saying, do things that people want.
Yeah, like Kristen, those are good points. And when you bring up SEO, it's the same with like web development or web designer. There's people that still, it's like, I don't even know why I need a website. I've hired a few people in the past and I didn't really get anything out of it. So they relate the success of websites in general with those few providers they chose, which may have been horrible. And I know they are horrible because I have this conversation every week with people that, had a web designer cripple their business because of the way that they did their work. It's the same thing with everything. Same thing with SEO. Like the company Chase works for, they're awesome. So Yeah, go ahead.
Somebody said that SEO is literally manipulating search engines, and it's funny because that's what it used to be. And the people who aren't caught up with what SEO is today is that when you were using SEO before, you were manipulating the search engine. You were putting keyword stuffing, you were doing backlink building, you were doing things that were really shady. Today, that stuff doesn't work. You actually have to create really good, relevant content with a website that is really authoritative on that subject.
It can, however, things like Panda and Penguin, it like catches it. And so you might get away with it for like a little bit, but Google's getting on to you.
Which is why I'm saying that it's not like manipulation anymore. It's like actually creating really good content. So when people see that the search engines are actually starting to give people what they want, they're going to stop thinking of it in a negative way, and they're going to start thinking it, oh my God, this is such a positive thing.
Yeah, like gaming the system.
The irony in all of that is that the people who wanted SEO back then are the same people who want it today, but the ones that were doing it legitimately still have SEO, or the ones who were trying to do the sneaky way kind of got caught, and now they're kind of blacked out of the market.
Yeah, and they lose focus. They move on to some other thing, like, and then what is it?
It's kind of like SEO is good. SEO has always been good because even back when it was, right, greed is good. Let's play the Gordon Gekko model. Greed is good. And greed is simply how much can I help everyone else so that way I can get money, right? Because no one's going to like exchange without something that's willful. So what Google did, if no one was exploiting this SEO skill cap like early on, they would have never improved their search algorithm. Reason to. But because there was so much demand, okay, go ahead.
I want to ask Joshua a question. Is there anything Chase has said this entire episode that you agree with? I'm just curious.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Is there
honestly,
anything he said of value today? Because it sounds like it doesn't matter what he says. You're just gonna like.
It's because people have a very bad perception of people who are like me who do SEO, because there's so many people out there that have really exploited the search engine and then also people. And when you do that for a long enough amount of time and enough people hear about it, what happens is that there's this common conception about who people are, and it's not true. Not everybody's exactly the same. Not everything is infinite or absolute. You need to give people, some time to.
SEO is the internet MLM. No, SEO is totally different than MLM. SEO is how can my website be so badass that everybody wants to go to it and stay on it as long as possible. It has nothing to do, that's ridiculous.
Amy and Peter have said a couple of really interesting things that are very good. First of all, SEO has evolved. And second, I think a more accurate description would be like digital marketing.
Well,
a lot of people have moved towards calling it that.
SEO is in the lexicon, but what the hell is SMM?
Social media marketing.
Social media marketing. Okay.
Yeah. So social media marketing is extremely important. And what I do is I create this podcast and I will record it on Audacity, and then I'll also record it on Blab so people can watch the conversation afterwards. And then I'll take the recording on Audacity and I'll submit it to Rev, and I'll get a content breakdown so I can rank it organically on a website, because people are obviously searching for whatever we're talking about today. We're talking about how to rank an ad score, or how to get better ad score. And then I'll actually take this podcast, I'll put it on iTunes, or I'll put it on Podbean, and I'll promote it through all my different social media channels with all the social tools I use, and I get tons of engagement. I just hit 1,000 plays on the podcast, so that's pretty cool. And I just started like a week ago. So this stuff is really exciting and really fun. Of course, there's some things that are not so exciting and not so fun, like the editing and the interacting with people who are trying to bring you down. But I think anybody can learn this stuff. And I was telling David the other day, it's not learning really hard stuff. It's just learning a little bit about everything, because there's so much out there.
Learning what to learn, right? And that's why we listen, I guess.
The Czar of Rochester. Jojo Keys. There you go. You got your mention. Amy
says that organically is not search engine optimization. By the way, if you guys want to check out the podcast, it's First Click Inc. SEO podcast in the iTunes store. You should subscribe to it, or firstclick.podbean.com if you go on Podbean.
MLM. It's like you're coupling MLM with SEO. That's scary. That's like, I don't know.
David and Krista, tell them about our Google Plus community that we made.
The Blab one?
Yeah.
Yes, awesome. Go put your Blab links in there so you can get your word out. It's another opportunity to
just being in
people.
that room has cured my fibromyalgia. Healing properties just being in that room.
Oh, you don't know who John Mueller is? Head of Google Webmasters?
Well, I think he's head of the Google Trends team, right? Is he head of Google Webmasters now? Really? That's impressive.
I get whether it's unofficial.
Well, I mean, we have tons of viewers.
How many people in here use Google Plus out of curiosity?
I get most of my engagement off of Google Plus and Reddit.
Can I
And then
use my
Twitter.
feed?
Reddit is pretty big. I'll give props up to Reddit any day. Google Plus, I was in there back when it was like kind of new and exciting, but man, I haven't touched Google Plus in a while.
Well, yeah, there's a new Google Plus. Check it out.
I hate the new Google Plus. The new Google Plus is
I
awful.
don't use it, but a lot of people who didn't like it before have come back and they like it now because it's around a different thing. It's more centered around collections, interests, communities, but I would say mostly about like your interests. It's kind of like the new landing page of Blab, which I'm not crazy about.
Google Plus communities it's worth the time to find really good communities because you can find communities that aren't just about spam. They're about actual like people who are really wanting to support and promote your content, and you can create a really good following around those Google Plus communities. Don't just join the first SEO community with 100,000 people you see and only post into that.
In fact, make your own community.
Why not?
And invite
go into depth
people
on that.
that are important to you into your community.
All right,
Make your
Joshua.
own
Because
space
a lot
in
of people
corner.
see Google Plus, Facebook, even Twitter as kind of like a popularity contest. So why not just jump into the most populous one? Why not just jump into something with 100,000 people?
Because the ones with 100,000 people are usually the ones that everybody joins because they see that they have free reign at just spamming everything that they can.
Yes, ding, ding, ding. I am a moderator of quite a few large communities over there. And there are some where I get notifications. I'm like, ignore.
I mean, I still post in some of these, like the SEO one that has like 180,000 people in it. I get like 9+1s, which is awesome. But I mean, they're from people who I don't even know if they're just. I don't even know if they're interested in SEO. There's this one girl who +1 one of my posts earlier today, and I was like checking out what she did, and she didn't even have anything about SEO. She was like screaming at her boyfriend through like all these different posts in Google Plus. I'm like, I don't even know what you're doing on this community. You know what I mean?
Is that when you bring down the jackhammer?
She's just trying to expose his dirty laundry to everyone on the internet.
Well, Google Plus isn't the first.
That's right.
You want to go to Reddit.
All right,
Yeah.
someone else jump in. I want to jump out. I want to hear someone else talk here.
Thanks for being with us, David.
Take care, guys.
Yeah, let's get Peter in here. He seems like a cool guy.
Peter's very cool.
Should we let Joshua in? I think he's just going to bring us down.
No.
No, we'll bring him in. We're going to have a party.
Oh, shoot. Bring him in.
No, bring Peter.
Either one. Are they both trying
Who
to come
votes
in?
for Joshua? Let's get some votes. Joshua or Peter? Let's get some people voting.
Well, I have to vote for Peter.
We got one for Peter,
Peter's
one
like
for
everyone.
Joshua. We got actually 2 for Joshua. All right, we'll let Joshua in and we'll see
Nice.
how it goes.
Joshua's running dual accounts.
Hi, Joshua.
So I just wanted to real quick with SEO is definitely done. I really
Oh.
what I see is that there are two things going on in SEO prior to that.
I can't. Can you guys hear him?
No, but I'm gonna pretend like I can.
Oh, yeah.
You need to SEO your mic.
Did someone say that? Or did you just say
No, somebody said that.
that? Can you refresh? We'll bring you back in.
Joshua, you're wearing a Twitter shirt. Twitter's a search engine.
I never thought about Twitter like that. I always thought of it as just like a place to go for like reading. Here we go.
Well,
What's
when you
up?
type in a hashtag, it's
All right. Is that better?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, obviously I'm ringing the death bell for SEO, but the reason I'm doing that is I see paid advertising getting so many new additional context clues to it now that it's hard to say like, oh, I should really spend the time working to optimize my site for the search engines when I can just go buy traffic at scale tomorrow instead of having to deal with long-term ranking, backlink acquisition, content creation. Screw that. A really nice landing page, a good rank, and a nice paid search campaign, I'm just going to blow you away. You can spend months optimizing and working on it. And this is coming from somebody who did SEO for 10 years. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm done. I'm over it. The thing has run its course.
So Joshua, when people do the paid advertising, one of the things that they have to have is a website that's actually valuable then, right? You don't want someone to drop like $3,000 in ads on a cheap website that they haven't done anything with. And
It just has to
with
convert.
SEO,
It just
that
has to
also-
convert. It just has to convert.
Yeah, well, that's true as long as it converts. But do you think SEO optimization allows for higher rankings because it's bringing value and that's more likely to bring in conversions? Like, I
mean-
feel like SEO should be like a base step and then start throwing down money on paid ads. So that way you can kind of get some of the analytics and kind of get some of the funneling.
I mean, it's nice to use free traffic.
I missed Joshua's argument. My blab crashed.
Ah, you
That's-
missed out, buddy.
It's so fortuitous.
Moving on.
Of course that would happen.
How very fortuitous. No, my point was simply this: that if you're going to spend all the time to optimize for a #1 position on Google and completely ignore paid traffic, I think that's very misguided in the sense that I can take my site right now, build it today, and then tomorrow run $3,000 worth of paid traffic at it and just destroy it in terms of engagement metrics and the conversions. The idea that you're going to spend all of this time and effort to make SEO #1 priority is broken in the age of really advanced paid advertising. Even with Facebook, I can target you by your credit score and your geolocation. Like, you're talking about computer repair, why don't I target everybody who owns a Mac in 20 miles of my store with a credit score above 800? Like, those are the people I want to reach. That's
Joshua, just because you target people doesn't mean you're going to hit them. And just because an ad gets put in front of them in their Facebook feed doesn't mean they're going to actually want to see it. People who are on Google are doing active research for the things they're trying to buy. And I didn't say that you should only focus on organic. You should focus on things that are related to organic because you want to be hitting as many things as you can. And you should be doing SEO if you're going to be doing search network campaigns, which is what I think you're referring to, because your landing page experience is going to, and your landing page relevance is going to contribute really highly to how your ad ranks. So
I want to jump in. So is there a correlation between SEO and conversion rate? Because Joshua seems to be saying that you can convert with no relation to ranking, right? As long as you've got the traffic, it'll convert, right? Is that? Jump into how you feel like the conversion works with
conversion rate has no impact on ranking, right? If we look at site engagement, maybe. What is Google able to see? Well, if they have analytics on the page, they can steal all that data, even though they say don't use it. We get click-through rate from the top of the SERPs, right? We can see #1 gets the best traffic, or #2 gets the most traffic. We can see time on site because of the bounce rate. So if they come back to the search results page, we can see that. But if we are to take them at their word, which I tend to do, they're not going to be able to measure on-site engagement. So they're not going to be able to measure conversion rate.
Okay, conversion rate optimization isn't just about getting conversions. It's about making sure that people go to your page and actually do what you want them to do. So part of that is
that wasn't the question.
That
wasn't the question. Action. The question was, does conversion rate have to do
whether people bounce off your page or not? It doesn't have anything to do with what shows up in the search engine results.
I think you both agree that websites need to be optimized. You're just disagreeing on the methodology for driving traffic to it, right? So both of you saying that website optimization is key, right? If you want to convert if you want to have engagement, whatever the end goal is, you want to web optimize before you start to consider.
Joshua,
I have to go. Thank you for having me.
Wait, hold on.
Chase,
Just before you go, really quick.
Okay.
If you have one ad and you spent $3,000, like you're saying, in the search results, which there's been studies that show only 23% of people actually click on the ads, and you have a local listing and an organic search result with no ad, which do you think is going to get more engagement?
Well, I'm a good marketer, so you know what? I'd make the most of those $3,000. I'd get the shares and engagements from them. So, I mean, say what you will. I'd get the backlinks.
That has nothing to do with search engine marketing.
It absolutely does. Chase, it was nice to meet you. I'm sorry we disagree on this topic, but I think you're very knowledgeable. And I think you're
drop a link on how to make a website more convertible into
convertible.
Feel free to see my personal website at joshuaziering.com. Please follow. I'm on Twitter. I think I'm funny sometimes, but I'm really not. Chase, really nice to talk to you. Kristen, nice to talk to you. And William, always a pleasure. Thanks for having me on. Bye, guys.
I knew that was going to happen. I knew he was going to come in and just try to kill the vibe.
No, that's cool. He actually brings up some good points. You know, one thing that a lot of people try to do is they try to, I've got to wait. Let me just drop a couple grand, and now I'm going to be rich, right? So the important thing with SEO, which I was trying to get him to agree with, and it kind of seems like he's got some different styles, but I think the importance is making sure that, like with your SEO, you want to bring value, you want to web optimize. So both of you guys want to web optimize, and I think an SEO expert is really good at web optimization because Google has been looking at how valuable is every website.
Wait, all I was trying to say is that if you have a search engine marketing campaign and you also have local 3-pack results and you also have organic search results, how many more clicks are you going to get than just one search engine marketing campaign ad? Right? I mean, that just makes sense. So for him to say that you should only spend on just pay-per-click ads, I mean, it's good to spend money on pay-per-click ads, and I do it, and I make good results off of it, but I also have organic rankings that are getting tons of clicks, and I'm getting tons of conversions.
Right. I feel like it's kind of like looking at dough, like as, you know, two elements. It's flour and it's also water, and you can make bread with that or money. So if you want to use your paid advertising and your SEO and you combine those strategies together, they're going to be actually symbiotic relationship. You're going to see, oh, people that have been going to this are going to click on my ad, and it's going to convert higher because they're already expecting what to see. Whereas also if you're throwing ad down and you've got organics, then people will redirect back to that organically. So it's kind of like almost wasteful to only do one.
Well, you don't know
it's like a mindset that you can only do one. It's
you
totally
don't know
backwards.
if the ad's going to get more conversions, though, because if you create an organic listing that's a long tail keyword, it's going to be more highly targeted to what people are looking to buy, because the more specific you get, the more people are looking to buy things than like the general queries. So an organic might actually convert higher than a pay-per-click ad just because people don't like looking at ads.
Yeah, that's so true. I hate clicking ads. Yeah, that's a good point. In fact, you know what? Actually, I think what happens is that people who rank organically have figured out how to make websites more enjoyable for the end user, and that's why people select them over ads.
It's very true.
Welcome, Clint.
Hi.
I want to make an apology. I'm sorry for saying ew to Wix. As the creator standpoint, I'm kind of like against like drag and drop, just because I think that there's so many more wonderful ways to create things and put your personal stamp on them. And even if that means collaborating with a designer of sort, you know, like I just think that there's a lot more ways to go about it. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it. If you're getting a message out there,
are you the
then
Wix
that's
guy?
really cool.
Are you like Big Shot?
No, that wasn't me.
No,
I thought you like made Wix or something, and she was like apologizing because you were like the CEO of Wix.
no, it was someone in the side chat.
That'd be awesome. No, I wanted to kind of jump in on the conversation, and I think no one mentioned it. Not what's his name, Joshua, and you guys. William, you kind of got close to it. I use pay-per-click to decide where I want to spend my SEO time because it is a long-term strategy. So using pay-per-click to identify the keywords, make sure my pages are converting. Okay, now it's worth my effort to go ahead and start link building campaigns and all that other stuff to rank that page organically and get that traffic for free. So once I'm in the top 3 spot, it doesn't make any sense for me to pay for ads because
brand awareness is
click-through rates for the organic listings is higher than the ads anyway. So
thank you.
So
Thank
why
you for saying that.
So that's how I use it. I think it's there's a fine balance, and anyone, in my opinion, or that I've seen that says, "Hey, Facebook ads are the new thing, YouTube ads are the new thing." You know, typically that comes right along the lines of they say SEO is dead. Oh, try this out now. This is better.
Yeah,
by the way, I have a course teaching you how to use it. It only costs you $1,000. And there's that's where it's coming along.
Peach.
Do you feel like people who use ads are a little bit more fly by night versus someone whose SEO is a little bit more long term in the game?
If you can afford a $3,000 AdWords campaign to test your conversion rate on a page, and by all means go for it.
Yeah.
However, if you're just leveraging only pay-per-click ads and paid traffic to get people to your site, as soon as you run out of money, you run out of traffic. So why do that? Why put all your eggs in one basket? And it's just the same thing that Chase has been saying. You know, when he's talking about SEO and social media and combining all this stuff and podcasts and all of that, he's diversifying his marketing, and his basket, is full of stuff versus just this one little drip of traffic that's coming in through whatever option that they chose.
Yeah.
And there might be, and I really appreciate what you're saying, Clint, because it was really frustrating me that I felt like, I guess I just felt like they weren't like, they didn't have an open mind, right? I mean, it's just because something works doesn't mean it's the only way to do it, right?
Exactly.
I mean, there's things that work really well for certain people, and maybe it won't work as well for other people. Like, for instance, for local search, there's certain keywords that you can SEO for that you can usually rank pretty high for in a very short amount of time and get a lot of clients where, if you're like in an e-commerce sort of industry where the area is really saturated and you've spent a bunch of money on SEO and you're only on the second page, of course, you're going to have a really bad experience with SEO and you're going to say, this stuff doesn't work. It's just a waste of time. And it's true. It's a waste of time for those people, for those keywords, but it's not a waste of time for every keyword. I mean, we could take this blab and we could write a title for it called keyword number 573412334, and we would rank for it instantly in the Google search results right after indexing the page. But we wouldn't rank for it instantly for SEO, So right. It's really about finding what people are searching for and what's trending and thinking ahead of the game. And then if you have an opportunity, go ahead and take it. But you have to look for opportunities, and you're only going to find these opportunities by learning more about how this stuff works and actually doing it.
Learning what your customers want, like your target market,
I feel like
audience,
that's a general
and just figuring out the queries that they are going to be searching for.
It's about managing expectations. I think, a lot of people, hey, I'm an SEO. Well, what you are is a marketer, and you need to understand that you're a marketer. And marketing on the web involves all kinds of things. So when you're selling a service like SEO, if you're not managing expectations with your clients, that's where that bad taste comes in. If you're selling, I'm going to guarantee your rankings in 30 days or less, and it's only going to cost you $250, this should be a red flag right there. But businesses are falling for it, and it's ruining our industry, which is why I said earlier, SEO is the MLM of internet marketing. People are selling it like that. They're saying, hey, look, in internet marketing, what is the number one way to get you in? Oh, you're going to join this company, and you're going to make a whole bunch of money, and in 30 days, you're going to be able to quit your job. They're selling SEO the same way, and you see it every day. I have in my own agency, and I get emails every day. Oh, we can take over your ranking. It only costs you $50 a month, and you can white label us. And typically, what I do is put them in the GSA search engine ranker, and they never email me again because they're clearing out their inbox. So,
like when I first read a blog about SEO, I learned a bunch of stuff I never knew. Right? I learned what SEO meant. There's a lot of people don't even know what it means, and I learned a lot of things that go with it, like link building tactics, what happened in the past, what the different search algorithms were that came out. And after, a couple of blogs, I knew a little bit about SEO. And if you take that knowledge and you tell somebody who doesn't know SEO, they're going to go, oh, well, it's important, right? But if you talk about it enough and you start doing it, and like you start, doing enough reading about it, you can convince people that you're good at it, even if you're not, So that's why there's so many people who get screwed over after people who read 3 blogs and then, just take that knowledge and go for it, opposed to people who dedicate like their lives, like me, where all I do is SEO. I have no other life, and actually know a good amount about it. And so then those people give people like me a really bad reputation. So I spend a lot of time trying to freaking convince people that this is a good thing to have and it's really profitable, and people will start to recognize that after a certain amount of time. But for the most part, there's such a bad reputation around this stuff that it becomes really difficult.
It is difficult talking to a client and selling that as a service.
SEO is listening to what the client wants as opposed to telling them, right? Traditional advertising is you go in there and you put in ads, and maybe they care, maybe they don't. But with SEO, the whole goal is to try and improve the user experience as much as possible to get them to keep coming back, right? And you'll see people improve their product because of that, not just the website, but the actual product, because they'll start to learn what their clients like.
Well, let's talk about for a second what the people who think you don't need SEO, what they would recommend. They'd recommend that you don't do SEO, so your site, isn't user-friendly. It doesn't have things that, people want to see, like your name and your address and your phone number. I mean, all of these things are really good things because people can actually figure out what's going on your website. If you don't have SEO...
Did you say your name, your address, and your phone number?
Yeah, so NAP consistency is really important to have, especially for local rankings.
Well, I think what the Moz band is, they're running around telling everyone is content is king. Just write great, high quality content. And
that's because they just came out with their content engine.
Yeah, exactly. Just write it, and
But the irony of that, we're doing content right now.
We'll rank instantly. Content is great, but if it's like a tree falling in the forest, if you write a great blog post, if you don't tell anyone about it, if you don't promote it, you just wasted your time. And that's essentially what link building is. And white hat link building is going out and saying, hey, look, this is my content. Check it out. I think you might find it valuable. And then you're hoping that someone is going to find it.
And I recommend,
when you're talking local, it's different.
I recommend that you actually do your link building through social media too, because then you can actually kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You can reach out, share your articles, build a huge social media following, and then also hopefully get people who are more likely to link to your content who are in a more relevant niche than, trying to go manually out and finding people. But what's working out really well right now is interviewing people who are professionals and in the industry, whatever you're doing, and taking that content and putting it into like a blog post and then sharing it with them, because they're going to usually promote that content to their following because it's about them.
Like you talking about the way that you want to build your book.
Right.
Right. And remember when social media, I don't know how long you've been doing this, but there was a time when social media, all of a sudden people figured out, oh, wow, it's great. It's helping our SEO. What they didn't realize was that it's providing them traffic, and then they're getting the user engagement, and then the rankings increasing. So I'm kind of like you. I'm into SEO, so like social media kind of stuff, it's an afterthought if it's not link building kind of driven. So I get the traffic and stuff from social media as well. So it's just, I have a hard time listening to people who say the method is dead, buy ads, and that's in the end of it. You just spend your money and it'll be great and you're going to get traffic. And that's, I guess I just kind of went the whole circle.
Yeah, we've kind of been touching on this a lot, but it comes down to web optimization, and SEO is like the gold bar standard of website optimization. If you can rank highly in SEO, you are guaranteed that you've web optimized a ton. But if you just throw down ad money, there's no really barometer on how good your ad, on how well your website is actually been structured and optimized.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like A lot more
Ads-
people who are burned out on ads than SEO. But the irony of that is that people feel like, oh, I can't rebel against such a large company, so they just give up. But if they can say, oh, I gave $50 to this guy and I didn't rank number one, now they can put a name and a face and it's like a little bit more on their level. But like, how are you going to complain to Google? Google doesn't care.
Yeah, I tell that a lot to a lot of people, and it's like, hey, you got like maybe 5 or 10 sites, and you're so bent around an axle on what their terms of service says. Google doesn't care about you. You're this little tiny site, and this is a $1 billion company. So if you don't do anything blatantly retarded, for the lack of a better word, you're gonna be fine. So I don't know where I was going with that, but.
Well, guys, I'm pretty much done for today. I've been at work since 9 a.m. So I do this podcast every day. Actually, today's Friday, so I'm not going to be doing it tomorrow or Sunday.
Tell us what you did at work today.
So
real quick.
Today at work, let's see. I'll check my timesheet. I did some Pinterest marketing. I did some site audits for keyword analysis. What else? Brand reputation. Somebody's having a hard time with their brand. Somebody did a negative keyword SEO campaign against them. So now their brand name is actually ranking on, or somebody else is ranking their brand name on a search result, and it's a bad review about them. So we have to try to take care of that, which is also another form of SEO, right? If somebody has a bad review about you and they're getting ranks for it and you didn't do any SEO, now you have a problem because you didn't do any SEO and they're ranking really high because they did really good SEO against you. So that's another reason. But yeah, I took a 3-hour lunch. No, I didn't. But yeah, so anyways, I do this podcast every day at 4:15, except on the weekends. So I'm going to be here on Monday to do another podcast. I don't know what we'll talk about then, but make sure you guys follow the First Click podcast and subscribe to it. And if you guys want to in the future, I can give you an interview and you can become part of the podcast and the book I'm going to hopefully create somewhere in the near future that we're going to actually get on Amazon, and I'll give you guys some free copies to anybody who's actually in the book.
Can you, in that book, can you put the thing about the ad campaign and go into detail the steps and methodologies so people can start earning $200 a week? Or whatever the heck, like you were saying. Yeah, so I'll actually probably take the content breakdowns within those podcasts, like how I make $200 a week. That podcast I did earlier, and I'll actually put like probably some visuals in there so people can actually see what I'm clicking on and that kind of thing. Make it an ebook because I don't read physical books. No, anymore. I'm going to make it an ebook, and I'm thinking about trying to get it to be an audiobook as well. That'd be cool. All right, have a good one. All right, guys, thanks for joining. Wait until you make it a big, thick book like this. Oh, God. Holy God. Wow. I'm going to ruin my eye vision by at least one point. Hey, if you guys want to promote your channels really quick, it's going to be in the recording, and we got some people watching. Shout-outs to 4chan. No.
Just thanks for having me on. It was a great discussion. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Clint, for coming, and I made sure to follow you. And then, guys, also make sure you check out this Google Plus channel right here for Blab News, and then also that guy SB Strength Coach. He does a strength and conditioning channel. If you guys want to talk about like working out and that kind of thing, he has a Blab I think every Sunday, and he's also starting a podcast. So make sure to follow SB Strength Coach. Anyways, I'm off for today, and thank you guys for joining and helping, and we'll see you guys hopefully on Monday. Okay.